Good afternoon, y'all. This is Chilanta, and I got my girl down in Georgia. I got my peaches down in Georgia.
Oh Lord, here you go with that song again.
You know I can't stop. Won't stop. What's going on with you today? How you day going?
Busy one, busy one. I had to do some car maintenance, and then I just left my youngest son's ball game. So yeah, this it's been a busy day.
Busy, busy. It is. It is. Well, welcome to Saturday, y'all. And we actually have good weather in the Shateezy. About 80 degrees, a little windy, but it's 80 degrees. We got some good weather here. You know, can't get mad at that. Great, excellent weather on the afternoon, Saturday, y'all. I know some of y'all out there enjoying the day, shopping, whatever. But if you're tuning in, tune in. And let's talk about some realness today. We're talking about, are men prepared to be husbands?
Yeah, oftentimes, we all try to, ask women are they wife material and what they bring to the table, but we also have to recognize that, you know, not many men think in the mindset of a husband.
Hmm. You know what? And you know what? Normally, I can have a backlash or something like that. But like the time today, it's like I have a list of things right here that a lot of men just not doing today. We're not stepping up to the plate. And when it starts with the feminine aspect, like men dressing up in women's clothing first and foremost. I don't understand it. I never will understand it, but men and women clothing, I just can't explain that. Why do men think it's okay to dress in like women's clothes?
I don't know. I mean, some deem it as a new fashionable sense type of thing. So maybe that's part of it. But you know, um, I'm gonna tell you, like, even when it comes to just presentation, period. Not even just men dressing up in women's clothes, but those men that still sag their pants, and I mean, it's just like, oh my God, can you please stop it? Like I can't. That is such an irritating thing to see when men sag. Like nobody wants to see your behind.
How old is when you're too old to sag your pants? Because I still see grown ass men out here sagging.
Men our age still do it. Like you pushing 40, man. Like stop. Just stop.
I don't understand it. Like, and then the thing is like somebody need to tell them, especially a woman, need to tell them that that ain't cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I will tell a guy, like, I don't do the whole sagging thing. Now, if we get to a point, like I've had people give me excuses, oh, my pants are too big, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, get the size that fits you. Because one thing I don't like is, especially me having boys, I don't teach them how not to sag their pants. And, to me, it's just, it's, it's lazy, it's slobbish. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a fashion sense to me. And what people don't realize is it originated in prison to point out the ones that were easy, if you catch my drift.
I don't know. Maybe the man, they started dressing in feminine clothing, so you just never know what's happening nowadays because the feminine aspect is too much in the culture of men today, where men have decided that I can wear these leggings, I can wear this long dress, and still show a sign of masculinity when it's not a sign of being masculine. It's a sign that women, when you see a dress, that dress, you think of a woman. You vision a woman in that dress. You see leggings, especially me, you visit a woman in those leggings. So like these not clothes. Like think about this. A woman, you spend the night at a guy's house and or you been with a guy and you wore his like shirt or you wore his hoodie or whatever like that. Like I don't understand like the transformation of what's going on now. It's like society is teaching men it's okay to be feminine and it's not. And that's what women are losing.
Right. Well, I will say this, Jay. I'm gonna go ahead and like clarify some things. So we all, both men and women, have both feminine and masculine energy. But what takes over, or the more dominant energy, is based on our environment. So a lot of times, if we're in a circumstance, like I know for myself, I'll speak for myself. Being an independent woman, having to be independent and always on survival mode makes me always have my guard up. I always, try to handle business. It's not, I don't get a chance to actually relax and actually be, in my feminine energy, because I'm always trying to take care of things. And so, it's a good thing that we are talking about this, because oftentimes I end up meeting men that, do not try to lighten that load. And a part of a husband's duty is to lighten that load. Oftentimes people forget, like, even when it comes to household, so it's not masculine just to provide for a woman. Even though, nowadays you have to have two incomes in order to sustain financially anyway for a family. But when it comes to emotional support and security, those things are important. A lot of times men think that when you go out and get the bacon, that's all he has to do. Whereas, nowadays you actually have to have a personality. You actually have to have, you know you know a type of bond with your wife, your significant other. So I think that's being forgotten when it comes to actually being a husband, because it's more than just providing, it's protection. And, that's both on a physical and emotional level.
No protection. So you said, man in a relationship, they show leadership, and they have to provide that protection as well. So we do have the thing, like you say, to make ends meet in this world, you got to go through and you got to have two incomes, whatever. But to overshadow that, let's go back to you said what the leadership role as protection. So man has to protect, right? So when a man protects, a man has to seek responsibility instead of running away from it. And I
Right.
think even in today's world, men, and if this was like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe my stance would be different, because society of man, most men's provided like the display they show in this world were more masculine. Like I'm going back to the feminine aspect. A lot of men are showing too much feminine, and by being oversensitive, you can't be more sensitive to the woman. You can't be
Right.
oversensitive. You have to be to protect and be a leader. You can't be more feminine and sensitive than the woman. You can't, because a
Right.
woman looks at her man to provide and be that leader.
Right.
And if she's more stronger than you are, that's a problem. And
Right.
I'll say this, I know you're going to probably say it a little later. The problem we have today is like women are having a hard time finding a good man, and then they submit to these guys that are not leaders, that are weak,
Mm-hmm.
and they go in this relationship despite the red flags and have issues and know what the issues are. Man, this they gotta. And we're not taking the show the dog man. We're not even dogging man. We talking about the men
Oh,
that are not leaders, the weak ones, the ones
that's
that
why I
won't.
tell people, if it don't apply, let it fly. Like, if
Right.
you are not in this category, don't worry about what we're discussing. We're just basically saying that, in today's society, there are majority of individuals that aren't prepared to be husbands
Right.
as they claim to be.
And that's a problem. They don't claim it, so they're not worried, right? So they don't see the responsibility. They run away from it. But yet you have people on here, and I think on Girls Night you guys touched about people having multiple baby mamas and baby daddies. So here's the thing: it's not the fact that you have multiple baby mothers and baby daddies. It's the fact that what role do you take
Right.
to be show leadership and provide for your children. A man doesn't, because he have multiple baby mothers, can provide for each and every child and have a relationship with them. A man that, let's say he has an ex-wife and they have kids together, and he can show lack of responsibility. And then same thing for a woman. when you meet a woman and vice versa, you meet a man, you kind of pay attention to his relationship with kids because that's gonna be your relationship with him as well. Think about that.
You know what? I didn't think about that because I mean, really, and one thing about it, like I've always tried to look at how the man treats himself, but realizing how he treats his kids is very important because if he's not around his kids a lot or he's not doing for them like he's supposed to do, like what makes you think he's going to either do for you or your kids the way that he's supposed to do?
Right on the head, right there. Responsible man taking care of his kids. And women, y'all see this. You look at a man actions. See, let me tell you something about a man that prepared to be husbands. Think about how you meet a man. Do you meet a man and you meet him through his personality, or do you meet him through what he has financially? Do you meet him through his car, his house? He got all this stuff, and they wowed you, or did he get you with jokes and laughter?
Right.
That's important because some men doesn't like. I talked to my brother about this. Some men do not have game, but they have flashy things to catch attention.
Right.
They some of the most disrespectful things, but women don't catch on to it because they too much in the wow moment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, like he got this. It don't matter. But the regular average man, let's say the middle class or whatever, don't have the wow moment, but they have character, they have
Right.
passion, leadership. They take care of their kids. They go through whatever they got to do to provide. Those are real men. Not saying that man, if you well off, you know, you don't have it, but it's like it's more about character. So when you meet a woman, and I think let's go back to where I said women settle that made some mistakes. You look at a woman, your situation, 3 kids, you take care of your boys, y'all baseball and everything. You spend time with them. That's dope. I don't give a damn if you had 1, 2, 3, baby. Who cares? The fact that you have a relationship with them
Yeah.
and you take care of them is what matters.
Right.
That's what a man should do, and vice versa. You know, uh, I'm gonna tell a story. A lady I know, she's dating a guy with kids, ex-wife. Don't seem to be a bad deal, right? Well, she reaches out. She says, like, "What am I to do? Like, what's going on?" Well, the kids come over. I'm respectful to them and everything. They're good kids, and she's a respectful lady. But I had to get on the kids' case. They broke something. They kind of a little wild.
Mm-hmm.
The mom, who was her boyfriend's ex-wife, just jealous. She's already married, mind you, and got a child with no guy. She files a DCFS case, and she has to deal with this. So she's got to deal with mess, and kind of in situations like that, she's a teacher. She got to deal with losing her job.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her what is her guy doing to prevent this from happening, to take care of his role because it's drama, and she said it's too much, and it's like sometimes, and her and I had the conversation. Sometimes you got to look at the relationship with the kids. If the dad is not strongly involved and not showing leadership role, because you got to step up, like, hey, this is my lady, you gonna respect her or whatever. Just ignoring them is not good enough. Just because I ignore it.
You know what? Also, how he treats that baby mama too.
Mm.
I mean, because a lot of times, we hear about bitter baby mamas, but it ain't always the case because sometimes lies are told to make it seem like they are the good Samaritan or the knight in shining armor in the
Yeah,
case, but it's really not.
that's true. But she gets text messages from a lady or through him saying, "You show up at my daughter's event, I'm gonna beat your A." It's like toxic. You don't want to deal with anything toxic like that.
Mhm.
So men had to own up. That's your responsibility. That's what I'm saying. Seek responsibility. Don't run away from it. Don't be passive with it. Like, I'm like, ignore her. No, you got to make your current girlfriend right now feel like she is safe. That's being in leadership. You got to be her protector. Don't
Right.
say ignore it, and she'll know what she's running into if she comes to her daughter's program. You got to step up to the damn play as a man, and that's the problem today. We say our man prepared to be husband. A lot of men are not. Like, you don't have that many strong leaders. Think back in the day when growing up, especially for black men, you had the Malcolm X, you had the Dr. Martin Luther King, you had people that stepped up and showed leadership. Leaders that spoke out. I think men are too much deferring to women to be leaders today, and not necessarily saying women can't be leaders. However, Men should step up to the plate. They should already
Right.
be at the plate. Don't defer to a woman. Let her take lead and she come on with you.
Right.
But men are deferring to women. Like you saw the Will Smith incident, right? So you saw some of
Oh
the
yeah,
comments on
that's
Facebook.
very toxic
Yes.
situation.
So a lot of women was like, "Oh man, my man would have done this. He should have did this." No, 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 no. Let's get
As a
to
wife,
it.
to be protecting your husband too, because that right there should have let people know that Jada, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but that should have let people know that, she has not been a wife to this man. Because in that instance, I understand that, when it comes to protecting your name and things like that, but in that instance, you should have been more cognizant and protecting him, to where you say, hey baby, we're not going to do this today, or walk up there with him and tell him, like, yeah, Chris, or make a joke about it, so that it can lighten the, what I'm saying, making it more of an empowerment moment. And then when you're offline, handle it, you know what I'm saying, because that a lot of that could have been prevented.
Yeah, it's true. So let's go to another thing. Today, we would say our man prepared to be husbands. Financial planning. Now, when it comes to financial planning, I like to kind of do that jointly. I'm not the most organized, so I need to kind of like defer sometimes, But I bills are paid on time. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer. I'm not the most in general. I'm not the most organized.
Mhm.
Prefer a woman to be more organized than me, because if that's one of my weaknesses, then I'll say it's a weakness. I'm not organized. So financial planning, and I'm gonna get you with this. I'm gonna get you with you ready for it.
Come on with it.
Being a gentleman.
Oh my God. Yeah, that,
Woo!
that. You know what?
Hey,
That has been so obsolete lately. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it it is sad that how many times I've had to teach a man how to treat me.
that's sad.
It's very sad. I'm like, you gotta open the doors for me. Like, you gotta do this or whatever. That's a sense. What people don't realize is chivalry is a sense of protection. Like, it's almost as if. So I'll give the opening the door scenario as an example. If you're opening the door for a woman, you're making sure that she is making it into the building safely. You are guiding her essentially into, you know what I'm saying? So, the fact that, so many men even lack that one thing. It is beyond me. It is beyond me.
Consistency. So men are probably some men do it in the beginning, and some men right now these days they don't do it at all. It's crazy, but some men do it and they put up this front, and it's like
Mhm.
you
Just long enough to get it.
when you meet a guy. Say you meet a guy in public, it's like little things you could tell. If you see a guy, 'cause I do this, and I go out and I see a lady that's coming in at that one, I'm holding the door for her to come in
Mhm.
before I even exit. I'm not gonna go out knowing she's right there and let the door close behind her. It's rude. To me, it's disrespectful. I wouldn't raise like that. Woman's coming in, I'm coming out. Oh, come in, ladies first. Because I had women tell me, "No, you go through the first." I'm like, "Nah, hell." I tell them, "Hell no. This is no. You come in first. This is what men's supposed to do. Come in. You know what I'm saying? This is show a sign of respect." Those things to look at when you look at guys. A lot of women, sometimes we put like a close thing up, like, "Oh, maybe he's not that bad." Guys do shit consistently, and that's
Mhm.
these new men. These not the old man that got it. Back in the day, that's like carried
Get
it.
it.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's really hard to, like, especially now, to find that, because like you really do have a lot of men that only do it long enough to get what they want out of the situation. And it's very unfortunate because, like I said, I shouldn't have to tell you, hey, can you open my door? Hey, can you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy how, we sit here and we'll talk about all day and night how, men should act, but a lot of them already know. You know what I'm saying? They just choose who they do it for.
well, once they accomplish to get one thing, like if they get the three-letter word, they get the sex.
Right.
They stop. They stop being a gentleman, whatever, and you can see it decline down. So another thing too, like Sorry, I got the troops in here.
Oh, it's okay.
So something too is a relationship with God. And I
Mm,
think that like men today, so like I grew up in a household. My dad, I don't recall him going to church. My mom was at church. She went Bible study with a know all everything, and she like has the most pottiest mouth in the world. But mom was at church, right? Dad didn't. Dad still prayed. So the thing is, relationship with God is like some form of leadership you show. You
mm,
know, you lead the family in prayer or whatever, or sometimes it's not really a woman's job. Like some people think that that should be a woman thing. She's at the home, but somebody just take it up. It ain't necessarily assigned to like a man. It's not assigned to a woman. It's like relationship with God can easily come from the man you got to lead. And women again have to pay attention to it. I'm telling you what happens. It's not every woman, but a lot of women pay attention to like the goods. Like,
well,
oh man,
Well, even if because I've met people that don't share this traditional sense. Like myself, I'm very spiritual. I don't necessarily believe in the traditional sense of God, but I do believe in God.
right,
And so, as long as that person has some type of spirituality about them, that, helps, put some type of guidelines in place of how we should be moving.
right. So here's my thing. I'm not with you. What's up, Kim? I see Kim in the house. This is how I move, right? And I'm not gonna try to get too heathenish on this. So I believe in God. I think some of the churches have the biggest devils in the world.
Mm,
So I try to avoid that. I like you build a church, right? And it's so much biasness in the world where each Christian church or Catholic church, each one you go to, believe it or not, is different. It's based on like what they believe and what their pastor want to break things down. So I think as long as you pray at home and you lead things at home, it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to church where because I told you that's the most judgmental place in the world. So judgmental. Like, come on now. Think about it. I'm 40, but I'm not showing up to church with no earring. But if I show up with an earring or something the church doesn't agree with, I'm going to get judged.
but yeah, you're supposed to come as you are.
Exactly. So it's like, and so I don't even get me started. I don't.
And it's become a business.
Yeah, it's because I should be a pastor though. Let me stop. Pastor Hendo. Pass the collection plate around. Pass it around again. We got to give to God.
You're so silly.
Hey, what's that? I'm sorry.
That's funny.
So, the once you bring a relationship, you don't have necessarily have to go to church to bring like. But yeah, Kim said most church are like a businesses, and it is. It's become that point. So you gotta watch. It's a lot of things, man. Relationship, you gotta watch it. Like for the people that do go to church, that sounds cool. You might be like, man, you go to church, whatever. That might be cool. Find out what church he goes to, because it might
Right.
not be as cool as you think. Get you a little vibe from it.
But not only that, you got to look at the surrounding congregation, because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there is a lady that's gone viral on TikTok where her husband ended up leaving her for somebody that was I don't know if she was in the congregation or not, but he ended up using the family money to kind of take this woman on trips and all that stuff. So it's a big thing now. With that, yeah. So you got to be careful, even with the congregation.
Yeah, we go. I'm gonna lead the church along right quick. But one thing, our man prepared to be husbands. Let's go to planning together. So I know you got the new. So you might have seen this, like men on the internet saying that they run this, they do that, or whatever. Planning together, like it's cool. I come up with ideas. Go to my significant other, like, babe, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Most men are just do it like because they're leaders. Because I
Right.
lead, I do, and you do as I say. You know what I'm saying? That's the wrong approach to me. I think as men, when you plan, you know what I'm saying, you can want something and you got to come to a agree. It's like a team. You come up with a game plan. You and your woman huddle. Like, babe, how we doing this? Say we house looking. I'm saying, what we want? You want this, I want that. I want this, I want that. How can we plan? How can we come up
Right.
with a financial plan, and how can we pay for this house? What are we gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? That's planning together. But can you plan? Can a man plan with a woman? That's another thing you gotta look at. Like right now, I hear stories. I'm like, damn, he said that? Like that's part of a man. You gotta plan.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, you got to be careful about that, like who you choose when it comes in relation to that. So you're right when it comes to planning and things like that, because, you know, what people don't realize is your wife or your significant other, she is always having eyes on the house, the home itself. So you make these decisions without her, you affect the home. And what most people don't realize is, like, you could really cause some damage by not including your wife on things, because what if you were going the hardest route possible, but you didn't include her, but she had, an easy route you could have taken, something that would have, may have, lighten up some time, as it relates to you being away from the home, anything of that nature, you just never know. So when you choose to exclude your spouse, you can end up, basically causing a disaster of that home, because your wife is, like most people say, the man is the head. Well, the woman is the neck. You cannot turn your head and look in any other direction without that neck. So, people have to treat relationships and marriage that way, but they don't do that this day and age.
I like how you put that. The man is the head, the woman's the neck, and you can't turn without the neck. The neck has got to allow you to turn because you got a crook in your neck. You can't turn. You can just
Uh-uh. You crippled.
cripple. You you can't go there. So,
You
but
right?
so here's the thing, though. The breadwinner, society today is trying to like flip roles, whatever. So society, I will admit, what society is doing, I'm not going to blame it, but I am going to blame society. They're trying to make the man weak. Uh, they're allowing the stuff they allowing on TV. They're allowing things to be solved in schools. They're actually teaching in schools. They're saying it's okay to learn about same-sex things at a young age, whatever. And it's okay for men because you got Dwayne Wade's son. There's no way Dwayne Wade's son should be on the internet kissing another young man at the age of 13, 12, or however old he is. It's like you're promoting that, and it's okay. The man is being strong. So I'm gonna say something that me and my friend Tori talked
I'm
about.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before you go on with that, why hasn't anybody treated that like child pornography?
Hey, I
Because that is inappropriate at that age. Seriously.
you got a good point there.
Regardless of if it was a girl or a boy, that's inappropriate at that age.
13, he's like 12, 13. Yeah, like they kissing, they like kissing.
Right.
It's like, and but you know what? That society is so backwards. Like child porn is like, you got a lot of like pedophiles and stuff, and they don't really focus on pedophiles. We focus on other things and everything like that. So the men, they're giving us too much space. Like, okay, it's okay for this young man
Mhm.
to kiss this other young man. That's 12, 13, like you say, child porn. And let me tell you something, they making things so feminine nowadays with men. So this is I'm gonna go back to the conversation I had with my friend Tori.
Sorry.
So, and now people don't take this crazy. So men in this world are looked at to be leaders,
Mhm.
right? But if you make a man weak, who's gonna take up and lead? A woman can lead temporarily, but a woman is not strong enough physically. Men are typically more physical than women. And you look at stuff like transgender, right? The men that go transgender want to participate in women's sports. They still were made to be men. They're physically stronger, so they're going to dominate the women's sport, right?
Right. It's
So,
unfair.
yeah. Look at society, right? So society right now, look at all things going on. We got Harris as like VP, vice president, and they soon they want a female president. I always thought a female president's world would work, but the way they make it like men so weak, I'm almost thinking to get the right female president, you gotta get the right one. You can't get the over two emotional ones that just act off emotion.
Right. Right.
But they making men right now. They making men and they're allowing them like it's okay if you want to act off emotion as well. I don't know if you remember the swimmer. He transgender. He's sitting up in a council meeting and he was like pissed off that he couldn't participate in this woman swimming thing. And I'm like, dude, you're a man. Regardless, if you believe you're transgender, you can get up there with your swimsuit with your fake titties. But at the end of the day, you are a man. But you dying to be a woman.
Right.
So it's like society is like trying to reverse the roles and put the woman in front. And I'm not trashing women saying they can't lead, but think about this. If it comes to a time where people come to your house and they start pulling you out, like, you got to get this done, you got to get this done, you're looking for your man to step up in that point to protect your house,
Right.
protect you, protect your family.
Mm-hmm.
If you're reversing roles and the woman now has to step up, she can't keep these men from coming inside this house, snatch people out and take them to camps or whatever. Because the way the world is working right now, you're seeing it in some countries where it's happening. They're making the world, especially in this country, they're making the men roles more feminine and making them weak. So later on, when shit hits the fan, when they attack, men are vulnerable. They can't protect women. And that's why I always said, I know I joke around, there are not enough men for women. The ratio is bigger. Like for one
Right.
man, it may be 7 women. And not saying that you got the man that's too feminine in prison that are like homosexuals. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being real. It's being less and less. Now, a woman has to take on more, which is giving her pressure. A woman has to force herself into masculinity.
Right.
She has to force herself to that because men right now, like you said, they won't step up. They're not prepared.
And some of them have also still have commitment issues as well. Like you have men that say they want to be in a relationship but don't want to put in the work necessary to do so. um and that's also been a huge issue with today's society, is that we have so many men that use relationships as a means to get what they want out of a woman, versus actually being upfront and honest and saying, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, but if you want to hang out and do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just being completely honest and allowing that woman to make that, conscious choice, they tend to lie or make you feel like they want a relationship. And then when you get in it, they start doing bare minimum, if that, and then thinking, oh, I'm supposed to get rewarded for doing bare minimum. And it's like, no.
No. See, and you say men have commitment issues and being faithful one. So go back to my ratio 1 to 7. Men see it as like, well, I got this plate. Because right now, for a man, a single man right now, there are a lot of single women that's willing to settle down and be faithful. You
Right.
have those women that be around and looking for flashy things and looking for a train ride. But then you got a lot of women that's independent and waiting for a man to come take this leadership role so they can be submissive and release and then ride to the sunrise together. So the thing is, society, again, as I say, men are leaders. Men that are leaders particularly look at this role like, hey, I'm gonna find me a queen and I'm gonna, to get her in, we're gonna plan this together and make it work. Some men are blue boys.
Mm.
They want to just sit around and play the field, whatever, and they have this luxury. Well, it is a luxury because a man can decide 2 years from now, I'm gonna sell down like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he won't be the woman to screw him over, but like I said, a lot of women are looking for leaders,
Right.
and it's this pool. Think about this: everybody, all of these men are put in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this pool may not be full of men because you're talking about this pool is gonna be men that are leaders, men is ready to provide, men that are ready to work with you. They're all in this pool, right? And this pool is like a medium-sized pool. So you got this other pool of women, right? This is fucking lake. A lot of women that's ready to be submissive. They're looking for their leader. They're ready to do everything you got to do. It's a lake, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now you bring these pools together. You got this lake full of women. You got this medium-sized pool full of guys that's ready. There's not enough for every woman.
Right.
And society keep making this pool of men thin because a lot of them men, they're bitches. But be real, they're bitches. They don't want the responsibility. They want to sit and play around. They don't want to like sit and invest. Like lead a woman on, like, hey, come on, like you get a woman, hey babe, I think we should invest in this. How often do you think that happen? Because men are too flashy. Why
Right.
can't we go together? If I meet you, I'd be like, hey, let's look at this. Let's invest in this. What you think about this? It's called planning. How do you plan?
Right.
Hey, Peaches, let's look at this and we think about investing in this. Let's say we do this. Let's plan together. Let's think together.
Right.
That's teamwork. That's that shit that man lead and brings you in. Like you say, women in that.
Right.
Men in the head. Let's bring this. Let's turn together. Let's turn some shit around together. But you got this goddamn pool, the medium-sized pool, and society is shrinking this pool because men are so fucking weak. They're in dresses. Then this medium-sized pool, none of the motherfuckers been in dress.
Right.
They not a pool somewhere.
Right. And then, not only with the feminine energy that they are protruding, a lot of them think that they're masculine. Some men actually think that they're masculine until I actually have encountered them. And then it's like, because you're more emotional. Like, I mean, and it may be just more lack of emotional intelligence, because a lot of times, like, I actually had this one guy. So I think what happened, I ended up telling him, like, I'm not really interested, because, he's starting out, he was talking about helping him move. He was talking about coming to pick him up for the first date. And I'm like,
see, that nobody do that shit. Why are you
no,
picking him up on the first date?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so, when I say, what, okay, obviously these are signs that maybe I shouldn't even be trying to talk to this guy. Because at first it was like, okay, well, maybe with the whole picking up on the first date was, maybe because he didn't have his car. But then when you started talking about helping you move and all this stuff, I was like, you know what? This is not for me. I appreciate, getting to know you, but I'm good. And so the guy kind of like went off and was like, well, I knew you was gonna do this. You're just like all the others. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, because I don't want somebody that's can't fucking take, oh, excuse me. I don't want somebody that can't take care of themselves. Like, you can't fault me for not wanting to be with somebody I have to take care of. Like, I have 3 boys. Why would I want to take care of a big girl?
Man, right. Somebody said, where's this pool located? Hey. What's Natalie? What's pool? Man, this pool is, man, it's like slick on that. I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Think about it. So when you like do lives, right? I go when you going live on TikTok, I go and watch your lives, right? I kind of like sit back and I'm in the back chilling, and I see men kind of grill, like, man, like, how many kids you got? How they said that doesn't fucking matter. Like, who
Right.
are they? How many different men are you provide? You give a woman the kids, you got to ready to lead them all.
Right.
You gotta be submissive to you, and you gotta lead the kids. When I got married, my ex-wife had 2 kids. I see my dad come in a relationship with my mom. My mom had 2 kids. And I thought that when I was growing up, until I was age 5, maybe 7, I figured out that me and my older brothers had different daddies.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much a father he was to them. I didn't even know. So I grew up like that. So a woman with kids is like, to me, a piece of cake. I see how my dad was. My dad goes shoot balls, my older brothers. He goes to play baseball games, everything. So it's not about who, what, when, and where. It's what the woman is doing with these kids. And
Right.
whether they dad in their life or not, how are you going to provide and plan and be successful in this world today? Period. It's a thing called success.
Right.
And in this world today, it's a war. It's like a war right now.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is important. And in this war that's going on right now, that's why I say society is making man. This thing conspiracy theory, but society is making man weak. So, like I told, this pool of man is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. Like, man, like I told you, walk around these damn dresses. Like, think, ain't no woman finna look for no man dressed around the fucking long goddamn flower dress to lead her to anything or whatever. I don't care what he got or what it is, but it's just not right. Like Russell Westbrook is a name. I think it's Kid Cudi, whatever his name is, with the dresses and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is what society is saying that is cool. So how many men in general that you know, like for your friends and people you know in general that are strong men that, boom, I'm leading. I'm not going with the majority. I'm leading.
I would have to say only one. No, like, because and the only reason why I've witnessed how he is, or how he's taking control, even when it comes to his daughter, like, he fought for majority custody of his daughter. He takes care of business, and so much so that the ex-wife tries to, like, oh well, I've dated these guys and they're not, half the man you are, trying to come back. And he has his picking. He has his, he could select from any woman he wants to, because he's the one that's like hot commodity, if you will. Like, she was one of a person that cheated on him, so it was just like, you know why would you, knowing that this man is taking care of you, and knowing that, and he even said, there were times that he wasn't there for her emotionally, which I can understand in that aspect. But at the same time, that's why I tell people, cheating is a non-negotiable for me, because just like you had the time to, build up to the sneaky link, you could have come to me as an adult to say, hey baby, I'm not happy, what can we do to fix this? And a lot of times men don't do that, because they want the easy way out, or they want to numb the pain quickly. And that's, no one's working towards that. That's why I say some men are not meant, or rather they're not prepared to be husbands, because that is what is required to be a good husband.
Communication. That's what it is. Communication. You just hit it in there. Communication. Like, even so, like, you sit down, you're a leader. And as a leader, you're looked at to communicate. You're
Right.
looked at to sit down. You can't be disturbed. You can't pout like, oh,
Okay.
you see, they can do this. So, coming back, she showed off a new outfit. So here's the thing, coming back, right? I mentioned this damn pool. This
Hmm.
pool. So in that situation, she had a good one, right? So she went out there, got a good one out of the pool. She got a platinum, but she decided to leave that pool, the little platinum link she had, and mess around with Cuban zirconium and everything, right? And realized that I had to be a platinum piece in this damn pool. Like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm going back, but it's too late. And then if people just pay attention to what's going on, please pay attention to what's going on.
Right.
The men around America, black, white, Hispanic, look at what's going on. Like, you gotta look at work ethics. Work
Right.
ethic. As a man leading, or he's sitting at the crib waiting for you to come and provide for him while he play PlayStation.
But there's also a such thing as a man that works too hard too, because the thing of it is that I know people say, oh well, if he's working hard and busy or whatever, then he's not out here doing whatever. And I'm like, no, that's furthest from the truth. That man could be doing all kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, you make time for the things that you want to make time for, correct? So I think that a lot of times we get so consumed with trying to live like the Joneses, that some men, will sit there and work to a point where they're sick. You see what I'm saying? And as a wife, you know what I'm saying, you have to like notice, or when you're in your wife energy, you can notice that and say, hey look, you know what I'm saying, this isn't cool. Like, how is this going to affect the family if you're working this hard? Are you going to still be here with us emotionally, even when it comes to the kids and their upbringing and their development? And a lot of times, men will not, they think, because, oh, my kids are at home and they're in a safe space, I don't have to worry about it, I could just go out here and work. But no, your kids need you emotionally as well. They're not going to remember the money, they're going to remember whether or not you were there and actually, you know what I mean? So, those things are very important, where you're still talking about, are you prepared to be a husband? And I actually liked Russell when he asked this question, or he said to his homeboy or something, he said, would you marry you? That's a question you need to ask before you ever ask a woman to be married to you. Would you marry you?
I think I would marry me. I got a personality. I quite would. I'll marry me. A good personality, I ain't never think about it like that. Would you marry you?
In the way that you are now, would you marry yourself? That's
So
that's the things that you have to like really think about when before invite a woman in to share in your life, because she's gonna be an extension of you. So
yeah, so the working too hard thing, I'll tell you that's true because I think before I got hurt and I got injured to have surgery, I worked like a lot of 16-hour days. I work. I got two other side jobs. My full-time job, I probably work like about 50 hours a week plus working side jobs. I work like 60 to 70 hours every week. And when I got hurt, I'm at home now.
Mhm.
I just started back working like light duty. But I got to spend a lot more time with my kids during the 3 months I was off, realizing a lot of things, get my mental health back together. Like the mental health of things got back together, spend time with the kids is pretty cool. You realize a lot when you're being off. And then not only that, at home hurt, you start thinking about life in general and everything. You start thinking about the whole spill. So working too hard could be bad. Whether you're working hard to provide, you still have to provide and be the leader by spending
Right.
time at home with your significant other and the kids. Like
Right.
whatever. If it's her kids, you still have to do that.
Right.
Like period. You still it's a lot of stuff that a man take on, but men were built to handle these responsibilities. The problem
Right.
is that the men today are relinquish. I can't even say the word.
Yeah, relinquishing you, right?
Goes to the women now. Now women are like that's why you see so many masculine women and men
Mhm.
that are cool. Like I don't like all that masculinity or whatever, but women have to display it because a lot of them out here protecting themselves. So they out here and they got this weight thrown on them now. So
Right.
now you gotta act masculine. The men be like, oh, I don't like that. And that's the back and forth on social media. It's like
Right.
the women I don't need they want to run the show. You know how that go back and forth. How that's been going.
Mhm.
And then the man just like disrespectful, like, who is this? She got this. I should be allowed to tell her to shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, no. You don't want to. I don't want a woman that I can tell shut the fuck up and she
Right.
jump. I don't want that. I want a woman that's gonna
So
be my backbone.
disrespectful. That's
Yeah,
so disrespectful. It's
uh-huh.
like, are you really looking at that person as your partner or object? Are you looking at them as, your property? And that's another thing too. A lot of men will flash money and try to, bombard women with money and thinking, oh, well, now you're mine. That you don't own someone just because you decided that you wanted to give them something. Because if that's the case, then don't give me nothing, you know. Like I would much rather go without and be hungry than to accept money from someone that deems me their property.
But that's the leadership they're showing today. The leadership is the almighty dollar. If I have 100,000, 200,000, above a million, if I got all that, that's how I'm gonna lead by money. But money is not leadership.
Right.
Showing you can pay for her bill, it's not leadership. Showing you can wine her down with gifts, it's not leadership. Respecting her, including her in financial plans, having a good work ethic that's responsible and respectable to where you're still spending time with her, and if there's any kids involved, your relationship with God you might have. You know what I'm saying? They're playing together. Uh, just showing you don't have to only because think about this. Most guys, real men, don't show feminine. Most men don't even cry. You got to catch them crying. It's got to be a point
Right.
to where, like, it's got to be really like you won't catch a guy crying.
Mhm.
So they're trying to provide. They're trying to be strong for the both of you. You got
Right.
to right now where guys is okay with crying, and you have some women get in relationships where these crazy dudes when they are not leaders and you leave them, they want to get aggressive. They want to send threats. They might kill you. Like, and I've seen it happen.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
That's why I be scared to tell people where I live and stuff. But we also have to do another show that regarding if women are able to be wives, like are they ready, prepared to be wives? Because
Oh,
that
that's the next one.
because because the reason why I'm like now that you're talking about how it's hard for men to be emotionally available when it comes to things that are bothering them. We as wives should be prepared to say, you know what, baby, I noticed you off your game today or whatever, and inviting them in to share with you by maybe rubbing their arms and trying to make them feel better and relax them, and then there'll be more, maybe start feeling more safe, um to be able to express themselves.
That's called what you're saying a crutch. A woman is your crutch. So, well, what happened with most men, and that's all men, every man, because we can be, well, probably with most men, we could be too masculine to where too macho to where nothing bothers
Mhm.
us. We don't show it. We keep it all inside. I've been guilty of this a few times. But a woman that's your crutch, and some men are scared to show this because once a woman see a man cry or suffer, not all, some, they see it as a sign of weakness and try to walk
Right.
on them. Now, if a woman sees that a man is down, sometimes a woman that got that deep connection with them can go
Hmm.
to them before the man even say anything like, babe, I know what's wrong. What's going on? Rub the shoulder, do something. I got you. We got this. That's called a crutch, where a man can feel a little lenient, like, and they don't need nothing physically. They just need
Right.
to be told, "Sure, it's gonna be all right. We got this." That's all. And it's those simple words, lift them up and they're floating again. They lift them up and float. It's just simple words, because no matter what, you might not have a plan, but y'all go figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but some women don't. If you cry, show you a weakness. Some women, and we get that on next show, they see it as a sign of weakness, and they use it against the guys. That's why most men don't show that side of them,
Right.
because it can be used against them as a weapon.
Right.
And that's why you saw men like, something happened, they had a bad day at work. I'm all right, I'm cool. No, woman's persistent, like, hey, it's okay. What's
Right.
the problem? I got this. You got to have that. That'll keep you from seeing a therapist. One of the things keep
Right.
you from seeing a
Very.
therapist. Communication. You know,
Right.
man, we go through shit.
Right.
We downplay a lot of things,
Right.
even with each other as friends. You know what I'm saying? We downplay a lot of things, whatever. I know one of my friends at one point, you know, say he told me he's struggling, and he told me this reason. He's like, man, at one point, I had $15 in my name, and I never knew it, because he's like more up spirit, just like myself. Shit, through the whole thing, I was down. I didn't get paid for like a month. I was still trying to figure things out, but I'm still doing a podcast. I'm still up here lifting other people up around me, whatever, because it's kind of like motivate me to keep going. If people can feed off my energy and I can feed off theirs to get in return, motivate me. I didn't go out to nobody like, man, I got you. I figure this out. I'm gonna do this, whatever. I try to keep most of that stuff inside, but it's just not healthy, and
Right.
that's
It's
what my
not.
issue was. Yeah. So have no man, have no a woman, and I want to get to the women's side because it's gonna be a different show. But like, that's one of the things I prepare to be a husband. Can you talk to your significant other about these things?
Right.
Nah, that's Kim. That's
That's not
my
me.
baby's in the background. You can hear that real good. 'Cause the weather's nice here and everything. The doors open. It is all over the place. And this is my little one. She's like the loudest one.
It's okay. We parents understand.
Yeah, it's like, matter of fact, I really don't even hear them. They just like they just like talking whatever. I'm just like, okay, they whatever it is, whatever.
As a parent, you tend to mute them in a sense.
Right. You mute them. I hear them, but I don't hear them. I'm like, you know what? I hear them, but it's like, yeah, I ain't think you can hear them that good. Man, I might pick them up.
That's funny.
So I know you can hear them that good. But no, so that's the thing. A woman crutch with a man leaning on his crutch. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, your terminology, I like that. I'm gonna use that later too. The head and the neck. You can't turn without the neck. You can't turn without the neck. The one
Right.
big neck, you can't turn on it. And that's the
Those,
thing.
those young men that you mentor, you give them that little feedback, because that's a lot of things. That's also what we're missing. We're missing a lot of men mentoring young men to come up in the right way, because a lot of them are raised by single mothers, and some single mothers don't they have lazy parenting. And some of them are raised by single fathers and they have lazy parenting. A lot of times we forget that, they're just the simple things to teach our children. Like even with my kids, I teach them chivalry because they have to understand that they need to be that protector.
Right, right. That's true. And you're right. We have to go through and talk to these young men that's coming up, because their idea of respecting women is like way off. Like, it's crazy. Like, they don't even
I
respect.
just want to buy her something and she better respect me. That's what it is. Just like,
And they're more physical too. A lot of them is like domestic cases. I've been seeing, and because I work it, I'm seeing a lot of domestic cases involving a lot of young men. Like, and that's what make that pool small. Here's the thing.
mhm,
I know people be like, someone told me one day that my analogy is not true. That the internet says it's like even, and that's not true. I don't give a damn what the internet says. That's
right,
not true. because I hadn't even talked about men that domestic. Those not good men to choose from. Men that like verbally abuse and physically abuse women are not in that pool of men I'm talking about that are leaders. Because I also mentioned respect being one. So a man that constantly verbally abuses and make his woman feel like she's nothing, whether
Right.
it's verbally or physically, those men not in that pool. So women don't have a good pool to choose from. Me personally, I didn't grow up in a household where I see men strike women. I don't ever do it. I never thought about doing it, whatever. Yes, I have times I may have been in a bad mood, like lashed out, not violently, nothing like that, but I lash out, say some things, but I own up to my shit. And but you got men that do it often where there's no respect, and that's why that medium size pool. Like you can be the guy, you're gonna be the guy, and he can be the nicest person in the world, but when he get pissed off, what the fuck I tell you, like
That's
that's red flag.
yep.
Cut it.
Yep.
Cut it.
Yep.
Like seriously, like it exists. Like it's all the mental. Like, and that's why this pool. I think of the watch guys. Like, and I'm telling you, I'm on the bureau. I got kids, multiple baby mama. I have my girls. They're dope. But people look at me like, oh man, I don't like that though. And I ain't the perfect person, but I know I'm very goddamn respectful.
Right.
Very respectful. So the people these days, and this happened on both sides, but they look at a book, they already judging it, right? Oh,
Right.
I'm not gonna put up with this. No, you gotta get to learn the people. You gotta pick a brain, look for red flags along the way, because what you think, what you may think is not what you may see. You know, so you might see something like, no, it's not. I think,
Right.
no, see. So I like,
Because even like when a person says like, oh yeah, I got my kids full time, but then they always at like the men and women do this, but they
right.
always at the grandparents house or at the cousin house or at the sister house. It's like, no, you don't have your child full time. You have you might have custody, but you don't even have them because you doing whatever, you know what I'm saying. And that's why I say, when you're talking about being a husband or a wife to in a family, you have to include family. You can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm a husband because I provide or whatever. Okay, but you do know you still have to be there for the kids. You do know you still have to be there for your wife. You can't just pay all the bills and think that, oh, it's okay. My kids are safe, so it's okay.
Yeah, you can't do that because I pay for this, I pay for that. Blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean anything. So I go now. I'm on TikTok, right? You know the TikTok lives. I look at guys. I look at the women TikTok. So let me tell you about this. A lot of women. I'm gonna start the women first. A lot of women on TikTok. Like that. Now, we met on TikTok. It was personality. I'm like, man, she'd be good for this podcast thing. You know what I'm saying? She'd be perfect. I'm gonna hit her up. She got something to talk about. And you got some women that just be like, they just want to look cute, right? They just sit and look at the camera, and just read comments and read some of the disrespectful shit man say and respond to it. Like I just can't understand the response to it. Guys, right?
Right.
I got some guys things and they uplifting others. And I've seen this recently, actually a few days ago, a few guys uplifting people through TikTok.
Right.
And some of the messages that I read at the bottom, because they're not being flashy, a lot of women say some disrespectful things. And I'm like, geez, like, how can you like say this to this guy who's up here uplifting, saying positive things just because he's not flashing money or doing something like that? It's like it's interesting to see some of the things on TikTok. And then I told you I looked at yours that one day, and the guy was like, "There's been disrespectful. Oh,
Right.
your kids this, okay, that's. How about you get to learn the personality and what she does for kids instead of asking who, what, when, where, how?
Right.
Observe
Right.
people. Use your senses to learn, folks, instead of asking some disrespectful shit.
Right. And
Learn people.
sometimes you have to ignore certain ignorance because some people are so in a closed mindset that they don't think beyond, just this. You know what I'm saying? But there's, multitude of reasons why people are single parents. Nobody goes into a relationship having a child thinking that they're going to do it by themselves. At least I know I didn't. I was married. So, you can't necessarily, because even just like I mentioned at the girls' night, I had a guy try to hit me, hit on me and was like, and I told him I had three boys and he was like this. And I'm like, let me just save you the trouble. Don't even worry about it. Like you don't even have to holler at me
Like
because you don't even know my circumstance. But then
nothing.
to add insult to injury, how about he had 3 kids of his own?
And that's what I'm saying. Men just disrespect women. The respect thing, as a respect. Men disrespect women, whether it's the kids or whether they're doing something, they got a job that they don't like. They look at them, they just so like people use observation to learn, folks, man. And people know how to use their senses to observe. Don't go off of like what you see and be like, oh man, and just pre-observe. Like, come on, get to learn people. You gotta use your sense, get the feel, get to learn whatever, because you can find a woman with no kids and she'd be the biggest bitch in the world. So it don't matter what you have, it's how you present yourself in this world and what your goals are in life and everything, and how you strive, how you plan. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing that you do. And I think as men, we too judgmental and we too caught up like she got this, she got that. No, motherfucker, just like you don't want a woman to do the same thing to a man, you can't do that to a woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And guys are just like we set up this world where we just constantly attacking each other. Like women is attacking, and men want to attack back. Like it's crazy, and you see it a lot in the black culture.
Yeah.
Uh, you see it a lot. That's a different story. That's another conversation to have. So it's crazy, but I'm hoping at some point that as men like myself reach out to younger generation that we can be good mentors and teach them better values because there's no father in the house. So
Right.
hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we can do that and make things more clear in this world. Maybe we can make that pool of men more strong and good in leadership, because that motherfucking pool is that's a medium size.
Look, and some it got a bunch of pee and trash up in it.
Hey, women can we could go. You can go to that pool where you can see through the water. You go to the other pool where it's trash and pee and urine. A
Right.
bunch of ain't shit motherfuckers up that pool. They probably wear skirts in them. So, yeah. But it's serious though. And that one thing I want to make clear too. At that pool of women, I think I mentioned like in jail, domestic dudes that's verbally abusive, physically abusive, homosexuals. You got motherfuckers that's pedophiles. So that man, like, it's a lot of weird men. I saw a video of this older guy taking a picture of a 2-year-old girl, and his
Wow.
fucking father came along. How the fuck you take a picture of my kid? And the police security guard there, and he's like, "Well, she's a cute kid." And it's like it's so disgusting. This is what women have to choose from this world. And I had a friend. She thought she met this good guy, was cool, whatever. They need a good guy. Kind of find out this motherfucker's a registered sex offender.
Wow.
And she had a daughter, 2 kids.
And you have to do background checks nowadays.
Yeah, you have to, because and that's why I be telling people that pool is small. When I'm not trying to even say men have the luxury. Men have the luxury by default of what society has presented, because a lot of women have to lead. So a lot of women are ready and they just like tired, like shit. I
Right.
can keep doing it
Exhausted.
myself.
It becomes more comfortable being single than in a relationship nowadays, and that's sad.
That's bad. Just because you just can't, you don't want to deal with the little, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got women, good luck out there, because these guys out here, I see the trash. I be out there walking, I be like, I can't believe this dude has a fishnet shirt on with some leggings and still consider himself heterosexual. Prince was able to do it. That's a different story. Y'all motherfuckers ain't Prince out there. Stop it, please. There is nothing with it, man. Y'all, I hope we can get some more leaders. I don't know. We're gonna see what brings, but we go. What are women prepared to be wives? That's gonna be the next
Mm-hmm.
one.
Ready.
We're reaching time today. I always like this because we can go on forever with this going on.
Right.
But I'm about to head out to this place called JoJo's. I think it's milkshake bar or something like that. Taking the little one out there, and she get to choose from like these milkshakes with these marshmallows. All this, that's like unhealthy. We gonna go check it out.
All right.
We better go check it out though. But you got anything coming for us next? Like what's next? What's on Peach Talk? What's going on?
So we have a pillow talk segment next Saturday, and it is it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to talk about some interesting subjects, both intimacy as it relates to sexual and non-sexual, and then some very interesting other topics related to toys and other things in the bedroom. So
this ain't coming on at midnight or something like that. Like,
we'll have to stream this one only on YouTube, and then if we don't say nothing off the wall, we'll probably put it on Facebook.
we're gonna send away go on YouTube. This is YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
We're gonna have but hey, I got my man Hits is coming on tonight at 10 p.m. He'll be on. He's actually has a very special day tomorrow. He's in Mexico, so we're gonna be on tonight. I'm gonna let him reveal what's going on in his life. A very special dude. Love his lady. He's got some plans special for us, and we're gonna do it on a podcast tonight. So definitely tune into that. I don't know what he got planned. He never told me though. I don't know what he got planned tonight. So I'm gonna run the podcast at 10 o'clock. He's in Mexico. Tomorrow's a big wedding day, and I'm gonna see what he got planned for his lady. He just wanted me to run the camera, so I'm gonna run the camera, let him take over.
Okay.
It's pretty big tonight, so tune in for that. I don't know what to expect, so that's gonna be big. So, hey, thank y'all for tuning in to Chilanta. When we come back, our wives prepared to be husbands. Wait,
women.
Wait.
I don't want to be the husband.
Wait. Just talk about that. Now, are women prepared to be wives? Like, my bad.
It's okay. You got a lot going on today.
Yeah, I got them in the background. Wives prepared to be husbands. I thought they'd be like, who the hell? Hell no, we ain't. Just told you looking for a leader, goddammit. It's like so much. Oh, real quick before we go off. Wine therapy this Thursday. Y'all tune in to that. That's gonna be good. Wine therapy. Tune in for that. It's always popping. You know what I'm saying? So tune in. Tune in tonight, 10 p.m. Tune in to Pillow Talk.
Next Saturday.
I repeat. Tune in to Pillow Talk. Now, y'all can see the flyers. I'm gonna put them on every.
Oh, and we will be allowing people to call in to be a part of the show. So that's also a little extra with that.
Right, what's up? Pillow Talk. Pillow slow.
I know you're gonna cut a fool.
I'm gonna be tuning in. I'm gonna call in. Y'all take it easy, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Chilanta, man. We out. Peace out, y'all.